Okay, boys and girls, so it's been a while since I did my last video. It's been like, what, 3 weeks, a month, something like that. Anyhow, in that time, I've actually been trying to collect footage for this video of me using this system we have going on here. But just, as usual, I have an excuse. Just due to the turtles and the weather, I have not been able to get any fish on film with me using this system. So I'm really sorry about that. But what can you do? Right. So I've been trying for about 3 weeks. Whatever. So anyway, today, guys, what we are looking at is what I'm going to call a commercial limblining system. Now, usually when people think of commercial fishing, they think of hoot nets, gill nets, and trotline or long lines, as some people call it for the most part. Now, a lot of people think about limb lines, and that's a pretty fair assumption. And where I found this at is there's a channel, and I'm actually going to link to it and probably play a little clip, like I did with the last video, the Russian and crappie pole video. I'm going to link to it like I did that time. But there's a guy on YouTube, and I think his channel name is Whistling Wings 1, something similar to that. And he has a bunch of GoPro footage, basically. GoPro videos of him doing what I'm 98% sure is commercial fishing. Just the way he has his boat set up, just the way he's doing stuff, just looks like either really, really high scale freezer filling or commercial fishing. And just hearing his accent and everything, sounds like he's from Louisiana, and a lot of stuff like that is very common down there. So I'm gonna say he's commercial limblining, or he's doing it to a scale where it's almost commercial. Anyhow, I watched some of his videos, and I noticed when he would be limblining, he had a system. He had a very cool system. Most people, when they limline, for you guys who don't know, a limline is basically you have a baited hook and line, and it's attached to a tree limb, that is hanging over the water. Kind of like a bank pole, but instead of having a separate entity, per se, like a bank pole, a PVC pole, fiberglass pole that's stuck into the bank, you're just using a tree limb that's overhanging the water. That's what a limb line is. But for most people, when they do it, it's just a static line. And, you have to come up there, you got to take the fish off, spend a little time, rebait it, and drop it back in. But what he was doing was, it was so freaking fast, it's ridiculous. And you would just see him just roll up to the boat, roll up in the boat. You had somebody steering the boat. He would roll up to the tree, and you saw his line hanging there. And you see him grab it, and he'll do a little something, and he'll just pull the fish, and it was like you have a main line and you have a leader line, and he like unsnap that leader and throw the fish in the boat, and then they'll keep going. Took all of 5 seconds to do.
A little bitty catfish, a little feline catfish.
Right. So I was like, dude, this is really, really cool. So I kept watching, and I kept watching because he has like 3 or 4 of them. And I finally noticed basically what he's doing. I might not have it 100% down packed of what he's doing, but I'm pretty close. I think I'm pretty close. Basically what he had was something set up like this, right? Now what I got is my, how I feel his thing is set up just from me looking at the video. Now basically what it is a lot of you guys who catfish a lot in the catfishing community are going to know what this is. Alright? This is what is known as a tie-off, a tug, or a drop line. And this is commonly used on a trot line. Basically what it is, you have a main line, and this little clip right here will reach over here, 550 cord. I should have had this pre-set up, but you know, it's me. Anyway, you have a main line stretched across the body of water. And you have these little tugs that are either tied on, but a lot of people use these little clips. And these clips clip onto the line like so, right? And that allows you to take it off, you know, or put a new one back on there. A lot of people like those. But this guy was using it on a limb line for the purpose of being able to quickly just drop the fish in the boat and dehook them later. And again, I thought that was so freaking cool. But what he was using, and this is what from I was looking at, he was just using a standard little setup. When he's this is kind of a cheap one. I'm going to refer to this as a magic bait, because the Magic Bait Company is the ones who you really see these with. A magic bait clip, about a foot or two of line and a hook with a piece of chunk bait, cut bait. That was the system. And then he had a main line that was tied to the tree. When he unhooked, if he didn't put one right back on, this stayed in the tree. And basically what it was just another piece of line. I don't know if it was a higher tensile strength. Like this right here is number 15. It's just green number 15, bonded. And this is tarred number 15. I didn't know if he bumped it to like an 18 or something for the main line or whatever. But he had that main line. He had his he had a marker flag on it. And I'm guessing he has some kind of ID. For me, I just threw one of my trap tags on there. For you guys who don't know, because I do have a lot of people who are on my channel who are not trappers. I'm not going to turn it around so y'all can see my address, but a lot of trapping supply houses sell these copper tags, and they got a little hole in them, and it has basically 3 lines for your first name, last name, your address, and your phone number, because most states require us trappers to have one of these on each one of our traps and or snares. And a lot of states also require fishermen to have these on trot lines, hoop nets, or limb lines. And I see all sorts of crap that cat fishermen do to mark their stuff. They like write each one on duct tape, and they got to replace it every. With this, you buy a pack of 50 for like $20, and they're copper, and they last forever and a day. You know, so usually us trappers only have to replace them like a raccoon chews them up or something. But if you put these out, I mean, they're corrosion resistant for the most part, so that's something that a lot of fishermen want to worry about. So if you want to go away to mark your stuff that's going to last forever, just go on to like F&T Trap Supply, Funky Trap Tag and Supply, Minnesota. Just about all of them will have an option where you can order these, and you can get them in, I think, 25, 50, 100. Buy them once, you probably never want to, you know, get rid of them ever again, and they're awesome. But anyhow, that's his setup. This part will be left in the tree. And as you see, there's a loop on the end. We'll get to that in a second. But we got our flagging, our identification, and we got our leftover end, right? So this part would be tied to the limb. That'll be tied to the limb, and this will be the part dangling in or above the water. And basically how it works is, he will come by. I gotta put my hand through my tripod, so if you see some shaking, that's the problem. But he will come by, And you got this loop right here. The loop goes in there and it catches. Simple as that. And these would be pre-baited. I guess he'll pre-bait them at home, and they'll all be in like a 5-gallon bucket, hang, you know, the hook on the rim. Pick one up. He'll ride by on the boat, grab it, do that, drop it in the water, and gone. Other than the setup day, when you're tying them on, you're wasting like, what, 30 seconds? And if you had a fish on it, when you came back to recheck them, you just come by, pull it up enough, open it up and do that, and then throw this whole shebang with your fish in the boat, right? And if you're going, say you run one side of the lake, you do all that, and then while you're going to get to the other side of the lake, when you're crossing the lake to get to the other shore, you can go and dehook all your fish on the ride over there. So it's a pretty efficient system, and I really, really like it. Now, when I started messing around with it, though, one problem I saw right off the bat was with this particular type of clamp. Now, it's good for what it's intended for. And again, he was using it, so I'm not saying it won't work, but for, you know, because it was obvious he was working, but it just made me uncomfortable because you can put it on like so, but you can also take it off like that. Like there's no real holding power to it, right? Because I really feel if you get a fish on here, or hell, even, you know, really bad weather, and it just starts, he bounces it enough, he can just, you see, it can just pop off and you just lost the fish. So that made me real nervous. Again, it's working for him, so maybe he's doing something I don't know. But with this smaller twine, that can pop off. With this 550 cord, maybe you want to bump up to 550 cord. It's a little too expensive for me to do that. It's a little too bulky for me personally. With the 550 cord, it's not as bad. It doesn't seem as bad as a problem because it pinches it more. But, you know, there's still a possibility there it come out. And, you know, so I looked around for alternatives for that. Of course, you got your little snap swivels. But those are, they'll take a little too much dexterity and just a little too much finagling. Just a little too much. They could work, but just a little too much. Too much work in them. I also found these. You can get these kind with a swivel. I think that's like a number, maybe like a number 5 swivel, brass swivel, magic bait ones, and that's cool too. But they just didn't seem. That was just a problem I saw. So again, I kept looking, and the fishnet company sells these, right? These are what I would refer to as, from just looking around the fishing industry learning, is a tuna style trotline clip. And as you see, it is much more secure. The reason it's called, I call it a tuna style one, that's not really what they're called. These particular ones are stainless steel snaps 1.8 by 60 millimeter. And the number, if you're want to buy these exact ones from the fishnet company, is stock number HSLS60. That's the stock number if you want to buy these, and these are the medium ones. They're not cheap neither. 100 of these is like 40 bucks. But again, looking at it, is buying one of these is going to save me the fish that this one might lose. Seems like a good price to me. But anyway, these are a lot more secure, right? Because with these, the way they lock in just as quick. They have this little bar that comes up and it loops around. So it's kind of difficult, you know. It can still happen, but it's a lot more difficult than the other one to get that undone just from a fish fighting. So that's what I got. That's what I started messing with. And these can work just as well on a trot line or anything like that. So that's what I'm messing with now. And you can get these in like 4 different sizes and like 2 with swivels. So that's pretty cool. But they're not cheap. These are not cheap. I think the most expensive one is like $108 for 100 of them. But still, you buy quality once, you're gonna cry once. And to go into it just a little more, I'm getting kind of scatterbrained here. I love this system so much, just strictly due to the versatility in it. So we're going to get into my thought process, I guess, of why I like these so much. For you guys who live in certain states, I've learned that certain states don't allow, you're allowed to put out a line, but you cannot put a hook on that line until after sunset. I think Oklahoma is one of those states, I think. Something like this gives you a lot of working room, because you can go out during the day with your buddies drinking beer or whatever, and you can go around in the day and find all the good spots and tie these on it. Alright? There's no hook on it, there's a name on it, and there's really nothing to steal. Right? Because if you guys get messing with public water a lot of guys come up, they see a hook, they're going to steal it. That's just free tackle for them. This, there's nothing. They pull up, there's some line, no one's going to cut that. You're not breaking the law neither. But, come nighttime, you can have a bucket full of these, like I got a 5-gallon bucket with all sorts of different variations tied on. Like, here's one I got a swivel with a little weight on it. You can have a bucket full of these pre-baited with cut bait, and you guys can just cruise around the lake with these suckers already tied up. Just come by, grab it, your buddy hands you a line, and snap it on, drop it in the water, go on about your business. And you can set these out so much quicker than, you know, sitting there. I've seen videos of people just sit there and they tie each individual rig up, and it's just a pain. With this, swing by, clip them on, keep going. Now, you can also have, like, if you're going to be fishing the same place a lot, but you want to be kind of selective, I guess, of the fish you're going to catch, or you want to be able to bump your equipment up, you guys can do like, just keep the same top rig, and you can have all these different bottom rigs. Like with my bank poles, all my bank poles now have this. They have standard this up here, but depending on the type of bank I'm on, I might not be able to just drop it down. Like with this is more or less, for me, a drop down rig. This is a vertical rig. Like I'll find a kind of a sheer bank, stab it in, and I'll be able to just drop my bait in, and it'll hang just like this, because it's, you know, like 2 feet off the bottom. However, say I'm on a bank. Again, I don't fish out of a boat, I fish off the shore. I find a bank and there's not a deep hole for a good 2 feet or whatever, or it's really shallow until about 3 feet. So I have one of these set up on here, and I have more of a drop shot bottom. Let me find it. I got a couple of them made up. Let's see here. Where is it? There it is. I have kind of a drop. This is my kind of drop shot rig bottom. Drop shot rig. This is a little more heavy up for live bait. But what I can do with this is, again, all my main lines are like 10 foot. They're like 10 foot. I can wrap them around the top of the pole, bring it in, bring it out. But if I need that extra, and I need to get it out more, I can chunk this out there, just clip this on real quick, clip the on off, throw it in the bucket, and have my live bluegill on there. And when I chunk it out, it's going to sit like this on the bottom. So my bait's going to be off the bottom and have a drop shot rig, instead of me just, you know, throwing it out there 2 feet and my fish just swimming around in a 1/2 inch of water. That's kind of a grave exaggeration, but see what I'm saying? Or, I mean, the options for this, I'm not going to say they're endless, but they're pretty out there. Like, you can have some of them that are, some of these rigs, again, they're just for live bait. Some of them cut bait. You could have, like I have some of these that are green. I have some of these that are white. You color code, I don't know, maybe white is skipjack, green is cut bluegill. I have some with heavier weights and circle hooks. I have some with heavier swivels. Like if I come up to a creek and it feel like this particular hole is going to have a good sized flathead in it, I can switch over to a little heavier type setup like this. Instead of a lighter setup like this, I could have, this is like number 6 twine, this is number 15. I mean, just so many options with this type of a setup. And if you're dealing with somewhere where there's a lot of, you know, old Johnny Sneakum likes to watch you a lot, the quicker you are of getting your fish and getting out of there, that's the less chance of you having equipment stolen. And again, with this, you can be in and out so quick they don't even know what's going on. You don't look like a limbliner. What's my time look like? Okay, cool. You don't look like a limbliner. You just, I don't know, looking like you're over here pitching a worm or something. So again, it's just really cool. And here's another setup I got right here. Mainline setup. I got my loop for my snap clip. This is number 15 tarred bank line from the Fishnet Company. This is Mighty brand. The Fishnet Company, by the way, give a plug to them. They have some of the best quality bank line for, you know, these type of purposes. So don't go to Walmart. Go to the Fishnet Company. This is a pound of number 15, right? It comes in, that's a bonded green. This is a tarred number 15. That's a pound, and that's, I think, a pound of this is like, what, 1,500 feet or something, and that's less than 15 bucks. You go to Walmart, you buy that much, you're going to be looking at maybe $30. And the crap from Walmart frays apart. Guys, I still got these I made up like 2 years ago. I mean, I still got stuff, nets I made up out of this that have just been sitting in the sun, and they're still good. So, this is just so good to work with, and like they got so many different sizes. Number 15, this is some number 6, some number 9, this is some number 12. They sell me these little half rolls. I mean, it's just beautiful stuff to work with. So, if you're really out there chasing trophies, or you're just out there and you don't want to waste your time with crap, don't buy Walmart. Go to the Fishnet Company or Catahoula or somebody like that. But anyhow, sorry about that little rant. Another little option I got, as I was saying, got my tarred number 15, and I got a snap swivel on one end. That's so I can use my bank poles. Again, speed. All this is quick. Get one of my bank poles here. Show it to you. A lot of my bank poles have these metal connections on them. I can literally put all this in my pocket wrapped up. Have a little pail of bait fish. I can have maybe 3 or 4 of these rigs on a pool noodle, like a little chunk of pool noodle. Walk up to the bank. Actually, here's an example. I have a bunch of these pre-rigged up. This doesn't have my leader line on it, but here's a good way you can store them if you don't want to do the 5-gallon bucket. Just unwinds. There you go. Yeah, I can have I can have these just in my pocket or whatever. Walk down to the creek. Park my car, walk down to the creek. Pull this out my pocket. Snap her on. Stab that in the bank. See what the water looks like. And then clip this old boy on. Put my bait on and chunk her out and I'm gone. I'm not sitting at the bank trying to undo or untangle. No, it's just in and out. And when I catch a fish, I come back in like, I don't know, sometimes less than an hour or a day. I have another one of these pre-baited, and this is so slick if you're using dead bait because you don't have to worry about them flipping around or anything. But have one of these pre-baited, get up out the car or the truck, walk up there, grab the line, unclip it, fish and all, toss them back up on the bank, clip a new one on, toss it back out, grab this with the line, and just walk back up to the car and throw them in the cooler. It's a really cool system, and absolutely, I really think this is something a lot of guys should look into. So, that might have been a little scatterbrained, but I hope this is giving y'all something to think about, something different, something a little interesting. Yeah, actually, I think we're going to go out in front yard. We got some low-hanging limbs. I'll show you how we would set it up in like a creek or something. So, let's do that real quick. Alright, y'all, so say this is our limb, right? Overhanging the creek, I'm in a boat, right? We roll up. This spot we roll. First day of setting. Pull out our main line here. Unravel it. I just got it all bound up on my tag. Again, this is kind of supple. This is kind of small diameter for what we want, but just for demonstration, we'll just tie it on here. Now, me a little quick release knot. And that's there. That stays there unless your state law says you can't do something like this. But in general, it just stays here. It's nothing's nobody really going to want to steal unless somebody's just trying to do good and clean up. So, that's there. Set a bunch of them, right? Just go ahead and set all of them in one go, one day or something or whatever. Come back that night. Got this sun gun pre-baited. They got a live bluegill on there or something. Or you don't, reach in your minnow bucket, grab them, hook them on there real good, flick that scale off, roll up real quick, grab it. There you go. That's it. See how quick that was? Now for me trying to explain everything. And that is set. Set, good, golden. And you can just keep this here. Again, if your state allows it, you can keep that there as long as you want. Come back next day, old boy's shaking a tree. If he's a decent sized catfish or one you can handle real good, just roll on up. Pull that up there. Undo that. Chunk them in the boat. Chunk them up on the shore, whatever. Grab your next one. Say this one got some chunk bait on it because you didn't catch any live bait, catch him. Put it on there, you rebait it, you're done, you're gone. You take care of him and you take the hook out of him and you get back to the house. Have your kids do it, heck, I don't know. There you go, see how quick that was? And you can just keep running like that. You can just keep running like that. If you got 10 lines out, have 20 of these tags made up. Or 30, in case one gets broke, snap turtle bites off or something. I don't know. But there you go. See how quick that was? There's a tie release knot up here at the end of the year. If you want to take all this down, just do that. And boom. You're done. Again, it's just a simulation, I guess, but just trying to show you how quick that is. I mean, even if you're in a boat, that's still a lot quicker than just sitting there, having to get your pliers out, trying to, you know, or having to tie the rig right there at the bank. No, you go up here, you tie your line on, you clip your tug on, keep on going. Simple as that. Alright guys, so there you go. My video may have not been the best. I may have been a little too hyped, but I hope I've gotten across to you how versatile this little system is and how cool it is. I don't know if Whistling Wings won, if that's his correct channel name. I don't know if he was the one who pioneered it. I don't know. I'm not saying, I definitely didn't. I got it from him and he may have gotten it from somebody, but it's a really cool system. And if you guys limline or bank pole, this might be something to try. I know a lot of guys out there don't like limlining. I was actually on Catfishing America, or Flathead Hunters, one of those Facebook pages, and there are guys saying they cut every limb-line and trot line they see. If there's a hook on it, or it's not identified, but guys, I feel if you're running something like this where it's just a line in a tree until you set that hook on it, I think you will avoid a lot of trouble. And for you guys out there who just want to fill your freezer up and you just don't want to be out there all day getting ate up by mosquitoes, this might be something you guys want to look at. I mean, it's a really cool system. Heck, the survivalist dudes, preppers, you guys who are always thinking the world's gonna end, or you know, we're 3 steps from anarchy. Hey, if it gets to the point where you gotta be able to hide what you're doing and, you know, be quick about it, this might be a good little thing to look into. You might not want it hung up on a tree, you know, where every starving person can see it, but, you know, how saying go, quick is fast, fast is efficient, something like that. So yeah, just something for you guys to look at, and yeah, let me go ahead and give a shout out. Dalton Johnson, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, is his channel name, and he has been putting out some of the best net making videos on YouTube, bar none. This guy's doing videos on hoop nets. He's not just doing you know, percent like everybody else, or something completely half-assed. No, he's going into like calculations, and if you have a question, he answers it within like a day. If he's a really small channel, guys, he has like 154 subscribers. Even if you guys don't want to learn how to make a hoop net, go over there and give him some support. His videos are cool to watch in the very least. So go over there, check him out. He's really been helping me out. He's helped me out so much so that I'm actually about to be posting a tutorial to trapperman.com showing how to make a real effective hoop net that's not going to take forever and a day. Doesn't cost a lot of money neither. For turtles. And he's the one who's really helped me out getting all the calculation and everything right. So if you guys like seeing my posts on Trapperman, WolfDog91 is my username if y'all don't know by now. I'm the one who does all trap mods and stuff. But if you guys like seeing my stuff, go over to his channel. You know, subscribe to him, give him a like, and tell him I sent you. Really cool guy. And if you guys want to support me and doing videos like this and doing my trap modifications, if you do want to support me, my Patreon will be in my Patreon link will be in the description. It's $2 a month to support me. That is literally less than a gas station cheeseburger. It's almost as much as a Mountain Dew. So if you need an excuse to stop drinking 1 extra Mountain Dew a day, or a week, or a month, go ahead on over to Patreon and become a subscriber. Or you can just drop a little customized doohickey. But I will be trying to put up stuff just for my patrons pretty soon. If you guys don't want to, completely understand. Not everybody has money to, but if you guys want to support me, I'd appreciate it if y'all head over to my Patreon and help me out there. All the money will be going to doing more stuff like this, and it gives me a reason to do this. If you know, it's kind of like you guys are giving me money, and it's like, okay, I need to get off my butt, and I need to go put some videos out because these guys are spending money on me. So, if you guys want to do that, head on. If not, completely understand. So, with that being said, and a nice big swig of my brisk lemon iced tea. They are not a sponsor, but they are delicious. With that being said, you guys take it easy, and I'll be seeing y'all later, I reckon. Hey, look, a hummingbird.